In this video, I'm gonna teach you how my clients are closing 60% of their bids. I'm gonna teach you the strategy and the tactics on exactly how to do that. Let's go. Now, the truth is that most contractors, they're actually closing between 5 and 10%. That means if you go bidding for like a year and you bid, let's say you bid like 100 jobs, which is not that many for a year, but let's say you bid 100 jobs, you're closing like 5 or 10 of those jobs. Terrible. But why? Number one, most contractors are very, very busy people and they don't have time to do the sales activities. And number two, they don't have a system. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the system. This is the same system I use every single day with my clients. It's the same system that I used with Redline Construction, where they just sold $430,000 last month. It's the same system that I use with Richard from R&R Construction to sell $700,000 in a 3-month period. And one of our biggest success stories, Matt Hensley, he's a subcontractor out of Arizona, and he used our system to find large developers where he actually managed to secure $20 million of contracts spread out over the next 3 years. So he's literally booked for 3 years. By the way, Matt is in my 8-figure contractor coaching program. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about it, click on the link over here somewhere. All right, so let's dive deep. Where exactly did I even get this from? Where did I create this magical system that is closing $20 million of contracts and closing thousands of dollars so fast? Before I started Iron Builders, I was part of growing a commercial construction company. And when I started there, they were this tiny little, like a mom and pop shop. They were actually a drywall subcontractor and they were giving labor to other bigger drywall companies. They were kind of doing like no GC work. When I got there, they had just started doing their first projects. And the majority of their revenue was coming from giving these bigger companies their labor. And so they were kind of like at zero. When I started there, I had left this career superintendent job. So my boss, his name is Paulo, he convinced me to leave and he sold me on his $20 million vision. He said, Daniel, I want to take my business to $20 million and I need somebody like you to help me. So just to put it into perspective, Paulo's like this 6'4" tall, like strong Uruguayan guy. He came from Uruguay. He was like this preppy private school kid over there. And he came over to the United States and he started a framing business because that's what everybody does. When they come from another country, they don't really have that many options. So they start in construction. So he started a framing business. Like he literally has slices and cuts in his hands, like scars, because he calls himself the king of the savages. So, but the thing is that he was a subcontractor. He was an expert at the field. He was great, but he wasn't really a business guy. He wasn't a salesperson. He wasn't an estimator. And to be honest, neither was I. I was a superintendent, project manager. I know how to run jobs, but I didn't know how to sell the jobs, and neither did he. So him and I got together to start working and growing the business. And so we meet this company called City Construction. So City Construction over here in Miami is a mid-sized general contractor. And one time they gave us the opportunity to bid the demolition of the flooring of a bank. Now keep in mind, we were a drywall subcontractor. We didn't even own jackhammers. So we were like on the fence. We're like, should we do this job? We're like, all right, let's just do it. Let's take a chance. So we took the job. You know, I mean, how hard is it to demo the floor of a bank? Like, it's not rocket science. So 2 very important things happened on that job. 1, we got to do our first demo job. And 2, we got to meet the superintendent and the project managers. Once we finished that job, they gave us the next job, and then the next job, and the next job. And over the course of a 2-year period, they just started giving us job after job after job after job, to the point that one day they gave us their most important project of their company. We had a meeting with the whole team, the senior project manager, the vice president, the owner, everybody was there. And they were interviewing us because they wanted to give us this very, very important project of theirs, and they gave it to us. And when I went back and I looked, we were probably closing like 60%, maybe even 70% of our bids. And I go to my boss, I go, what if we did that again? So I found this other company that we were trying to break into, Rycon, and I did the same thing. I got one of their smaller jobs. I broke in and I started building these relationships with their project managers and all that. And boom, 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 boom. And then I found another company called Fast Track. Boom, 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 boom. And the same thing. All we got to do is just keep doing this over and over and over. And that's when I discovered 2 things. 1, it's the secret of building a system of recurring business. And 2, when you actually invest in the people, not the job, but the people, the byproduct is you're going to get rewarded with job after job after job. And not only that, you're going to get good clients. You're not going to get those crappy guys that screw you over and backcharge you, because since you're building friendships with these people and they're going to help you win jobs, and it's going to be like a partnership. It's not going to be like oh, your bid, cut it, you know, your price is cheaper. It's not a fight. And all of you guys, or most of you guys, are probably fighting to win jobs, and it doesn't have to be that way. All right, so what are the steps? So the first thing you have to do is you have to break in, because I kind of figured out that if we do the first job, the natural tendency is they're going to give us the next job. And then if you do a good job, they're going to give you the next job. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to do that great of a job. To be honest, I have jobs that didn't go well. Like we've all had those jobs that you do your best, but sometimes just crap hits the fan. Even in those cases, you fight with the people, you fight with the superintendent, there's threats left and right, borderline fist fighting, right, on the job. And at the end of the job, they're like, well, hey, Daniel, I got another job coming up. I just wanted to see if you guys might be interested in bidding it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this guy's going to give me another job after this? Well, one of the secrets is you got to just do the first job. If all you have to do is break in, what's our easiest, most absolutely simple strategy to win the first job? Drum roll, please. bid at cost. Now, everybody, when I say this, they're like, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's people like you that make construction a cutthroat business. So cue the hate comments. Go ahead and put your hate comments below. I want to see what you have to say about this. All right, so the truth is that what happens is you're going to bid at cost. Or if you're kind of nervous to bid at cost, you want to bid really, really low, because ultimately what you want to do is you want to give them a trial. They don't know you. And the truth is that you don't know them either. You don't know their work ethic. You don't know anything about them. You don't know if they pay well. You don't know them, right? And they don't know you. So you can't really trust, and they can't really trust in you. When I say cost, by the way, it's not the direct cost only. You're going to cover the labor, material costs, your equipment. You're going to cover your secretary's fees, your project management fees, all the expenses of your office, everything, right? But typically on an estimate, you have all your job costs and your overhead, and then at the end you put a company profit. What we're going to do is we're going to put 0%, or we're going to put something like 5% or 10%, something super low. We're not going to put something very high because we want to break in and do the first job. Now, here's my disclaimer. We need to make sure that we put a big emphasis on doing a good job, and it's very important that you invest in the people. You need to invest in the project managers and the superintendents. You need to get to know the secretary, the office manager, the estimators, the junior estimators, the janitor. I'm serious, because these are the people that are going to go at bat for you. There was a company called RCC and Associates that we would go visit them. We would make it a point, like every month or a month and a half, we would go visit these guys. We were in the area. We wanted to just visit you real quick and see how things were going, look at the numbers, what else you have coming up. So there are two estimators, and we would go there, and we had a very good relationship with them because those are the ones that we were working with on a daily basis, sending the bids and, you know, getting updates and stuff. So we would show up and they would give us all the inside information. We're negotiating this job. We're really close. Hey, look, let's pull up the spreadsheet. Your numbers are here. These guys are here. You know, if you could drop your price a little bit, like, it's probably a better chance of you winning. Or like, I remember one time they won a job, and the estimator, she says, give John a call like Monday morning and talk about your numbers with him, because that's when he's going to pick who's going to do the drywall. And I was like, all right, perfect. So that helped us secure a job. So they gave us all the inside information to help us win the job. And that's one of the secrets, because what you want to do is you want to invest in the people and not so much the job. And what happens is everybody treats the jobs like a transaction. Forget about the people, forget about the estimator. We don't care about them. We just want the job. We want a 30% profit margin. Oh, and it's cutthroat, right? You got this scenario, right? And at the end of the day, don't get mad when they ghost you, they don't answer your calls, they don't give you feedback, and they don't help you win the job, because the first person to treat it like a transaction is you. So don't get mad. So the better way, or I want to say the new way, because almost nobody does this, is worry about the people, talk to the people, get to know them, befriend them, become their friend. You get to know their families, pass by and visit them, do the face-to-face. We are in an old school business. Forget about email and phone calls and texts. You need to go visit people. You need to see them in the, eye to eye, shake hands. This is the only way that you're going to convince people to give you hundreds of thousands of dollar contracts and even $1 million contracts. Think about this. Everybody submits a proposal, right? Please see attached proposal, attach a PDF and send, right? And it's $1 million proposal for a job. And then what do? A phone call, a little email follow-up, and a couple times, right? What would make you think that contractor is going to feel confident in hiring you when all you did was submit a PDF? Like, they don't know you, they've never met you, they don't know anything about you, they may or may not have even heard what you sound like. Think about that. You're asking them to give you $1 million contracts with no face-to-face. We are in an old school business. Old school, door to door, shaking hands, eye to eye. That's how you win contracts. All right, so let's start with how to do it. So this right here is my 8-figure contractor system. In the beginning over here, I teach you how to get leads. Then I teach you what I call the break-even method, so you can get your first jobs, because remember, the idea is to get the first job so you can get more jobs behind it. And then over here, I teach you the escalation phase on how to become a preferred contractor. By the way, I'm gonna put links to all these videos and trainings in the description below. But if you want leads, click over here. If you need some help with the break-even method, you wanna learn how to get your first jobs and beat your competitors, click over here. If you like this video, go ahead and click the little thumbs up button and like and subscribe, and even go ahead and put a comment of what you think about this video. All right, I'm about to drop a knowledge bomb on you. Did you know that 83% of all sales are made after the 5th follow-up? Did you know that? 83% of sales are made between the 5th and the 12th follow-up. And I'm gonna share another statistic with you. In commercial construction, there is a 3 to 6 month window that jobs are typically awarded, right? And then the bigger jobs can take 6 months to or almost a year to award, all right? That being said, there's a very long sales cycle. What does that mean for us? There are many opportunities in all those months to get to know our clients, to pass by and visit them, to call them, to text them, to become their friend. Because ultimately, they're gonna give you the last look, or they're gonna give you the best chance, and they're gonna give you the inside information to win that job if you do the work before. You gotta keep following up and investing in them. So why do we follow up? So using the logic of the 83% statistic that I just gave you, if we know that 83% of sales are made between the 5th and the 12th follow-up, What is our goal? Do 12 follow-ups. Ta-da! Rocket science, right? So why do we follow up? Number one, most importantly, we're going to get to know our clients. We're going to become their friend. They're going to become our advocates. They're going to be the ones that are going to help us win the jobs. Number two, we're going to get wind of other opportunities. This job that you're working on is one out of many that they're working on currently. Every GC, every architect, every developer, they're either currently working on something, they're about to start working on something. Soon, they're about to start working on a new project. So there's always stuff going on. So don't ever listen to them when they say, oh, I don't got anything, because they do. And if they don't have anything, then guess what? It's better you don't work with them because they're about to go bankrupt. By following up, you're going to get wind of their other opportunities. Number three, it's going to give you market data for you to adjust your pricing. Pricing for this job and also pricing for the future jobs. What happens is the market's always changing. Your competitors are always changing. Today, you're going up against a little small company, that's low overhead, cheaper prices. Tomorrow, you're going against a big company with big overhead, project managers, secretaries, trucks, all that stuff. A lot of people think like, what's the right percentage to win a job? What's the right profit margin? There's no right or wrong. There's a market value aspect to winning jobs. If everybody is at 100,000, 100, 105, 110, that's the market value of the job. So you can't win that job at 150 because you're gonna be too high. So there's a market value aspect to winning projects. Number four, every time you do a follow-up, it's gonna move you closer to the sale. In sales, one of the functions of following up is to move the sale forward. So in commercial construction, what's gonna happen is you're gonna hear a long period of nothing yet. I'm waiting for the permit. We're waiting for the financing. We're waiting. What you wanna do is you wanna just keep at it. Boom, boom, boom. You're chipping away. You're building goodwill. You're building friendships. You're getting to know them. You're finding out about other things. Boom, boom, boom. And every one of those phone calls, texts, emails, and visits are gonna move you closer to the sale. Number five, it's gonna build goodwill, trust, rapport with your client and even other people in the company. They're not gonna give you a big contract if they don't know you and they don't like you and they don't trust you. If I'm a project manager, I'm not gonna give you a job if I don't know you, straight up. If you come to me, we sit down, we talk about the jobs you've done. Maybe you give me a little bit of, some references. I look at some jobs that you've done. And more importantly than anything, these guys have very good intuition. If you show up and you kind of like, you're making it seem like you know what you're doing, but you really don't, they're gonna smell it. And you really need to show them that you're the right person for the job. If I'm making $150,000 a year as a project manager, my job is on the line every single freaking day because I have a high salary, right? That would be my mindset. And my bonus is at risk based on whoever I hire, right? Every project manager and every senior project manager, they get bonuses for their projects. So whoever I hire, you better be damn sure that they're gonna do a good job. So you wanna invest in them so you get to know them and they could trust that you're gonna continue doing a good job. And lastly, by you visiting them and following up, they're gonna take you more seriously than some random guy from the internet that just attaches a PDF and an email. That's straight up. That's just how it is. And if you are listening to me right now and that's how you're sending your proposals, then you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table. Like if all you did was just follow up a couple times, boom, you have like a 90, like a 300. I think what did I say? There was a statistic that was like, if you do 3 follow-ups or 3 text messages back to back to back, or 3 follow-ups back to back, you have like a 320 something % bigger chance of closing a sale. All right, how do we do this follow-up? So follow-ups, there's gonna be 4 types of follow-ups. There's gonna be visits, phone calls, text messages, and emails. All right, and the rule of thumb is that you wanna alternate so you don't get annoying. If you just show up every other day to the guy's office or you just call him every other day, it's gonna be kind of annoying. It's gonna make it seem like this guy must not have a job right now. So you wanna be persistent but not pesty, right? You do wanna gauge the situation. Sometimes you're gonna wanna call every couple days, sometimes every couple weeks, but I'm gonna give you right now my overall recommendations. So the first touch point is you wanna call, introduce yourself and get on their bid list, right? If you're a GC, you wanna get on their vendor list, you wanna get on architects list, the developers list. If you're a subcontractor, reach out to your GCs or property management firms and say, hey, can I get on your list? Can I get on your bid list? Because they all have a list, guaranteed. And even better than calling is visiting. So touch point number 1 could be a call or a visit. I prefer a visit whenever possible. So touch point number 2 is once they give you that very first opportunity, that very first project, you're gonna pick up the phone and you're gonna say, hey John, thank you for the opportunity. I'm gonna look at the project and I'm gonna let you know if we're gonna go ahead and bid. I appreciate you sending it over. Boom. You might not do the job, but you at least thank them. And that's another touch point. So it's almost like you gotta make an excuse to contact them every single time. Touch point number 3, go visit your clients. The very best thing you can do when you meet a new client or when you start working with someone new is go visit them. There's something about the nonverbals, face-to-face, shaking hands, looking eye to eye, the little small talk, that's what wins jobs. This is gonna be a great way for you to start filtering your list because ultimately what you wanna do is you wanna find the best prospects. You're gonna also focus on the people that are welcoming, they wanna work with you, the ones that are like, yeah, I need a drywall contractor, oh, I need a good GC, like I don't have somebody. And it's gonna give you the opportunity to cut the people that are wasting your time. A lot of times you're gonna go to their office and they're not gonna, like, they're gonna be very dismissive and they're not gonna care. And that vibe, you could smell that, you could feel that. Touch point number 4, bid the job. And while you're bidding the job, make it a point to call them and ask them a question about the project, because it's going to show them you care. Now, don't make it a random question. Make sure it's something like important about the job, the start date, something about the sequencing, whatever it is, but just make sure that it's an intelligent question. All right, touch point number 5. Actually, this is like touch point 5 and 6. You're going to email your proposal, right? John, please see attached proposal, blah, blah, blah. That's what everybody does, right? But as soon as you click send, boom, you're going to call them. Pick up the phone. Hey, John, this is Daniel. Just making sure you got my proposal. And like, it might've been so fast that like it hasn't gone through the Gmail or the email program to load it. So, but the point is that you want to be on the phone, like when the little thing pops up. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, great. And then right there, you could be like, you could start trying to close right there. Oh, great. So do you have another, do you have other bids? Do you have a start date? What's going on? Who are your competitors? Who are the other GCs bidding the job? Who are the other guys on this project? And what happens is you're trying to, search for information. Number 7, schedule a visit 1 week later. All right. Put in your calendar. 1 week later, don't call them. Don't say, hey, can I pass by your office? No, you always use the I was in the area line because they're always busy. And then you say, now that you had a chance to get some proposals in, I wanted to see if we could look at the numbers together and see what we can do about closing the sale right now. By the way, what else do you have coming up? And what you want to do is you want to try to get market data. So here you want to like fish for information, who your competitors are. You're trying to get numbers on, you want to see what the numbers are. You want to see where you're coming in, because right there, you might have a chance to negotiate that job and drop your price if you need to. Maybe you get some information on where your profit margins are so that on the next jobs, you can adjust them. But what typically happens is they're going to tell you, oh, right now I'm kind of busy. I don't really have time to look at that right now, but I'll send you an email with all the information. And the next day, they probably forgot to send you the email. So you're going to call them and you're going to say, hey, or a quick text. Hey, just a quick reminder. Hey, can you give me some of those updates, some of those numbers? That's really important. It's going to help me adjust my bid. Boom. That's it. Touch point number 9. From then on, I want you to schedule every 3 weeks a phone call, a visit, a text, and an email, right? Alternate them. So probably what's going to happen is for a long time, they're going to say, we're waiting for the owner, we're waiting for the permit, we're waiting for the financing, the architect's making a revision. They're going to be doing this for a long time, right? Remember I said it takes 3 to 6 months for small to medium jobs to hit, and then it takes 6 months to 12 months for the bigger jobs to hit. So you kind of have to be patient. So just every 3 weeks, boom, 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 boom. You probably, by the time the job hits, should have like 20, 30, or even 40 touch points. Right now we've touched on like 9 or 10, but really you should have a lot of touch points by the time the job starts. Now, here's a pro tip. Try your best to visit them at least once a month, right? You're going to do the text and the email thing and all that stuff. Try not to do the follow-up through email. Email's not really a method for follow-up. Maybe you want to follow up with an email like, hey, I just wanted to confirm that blah, 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 that you got my proposal or whatever it is. Bottom line is you do your follow-ups through visits, phone calls, and texts. That's it. Emails should not be used for follow-up. When you go visit, use the I was in the area method. It works every time. So what happens is when you're doing this follow-up, you're going to be present to negotiate. You're looking for information on permit status, financing status, who the project manager is, who the lead person in charge is. You want to know how close they are to getting awarded. You want to know your pricing next to your competitors so you can adjust your bid. And you're also trying to get market data for future bids. All right, so at the end of the day, your goal is to build repeat business. All this follow-up stuff, all this breaking in, building relationship stuff, the goal is to build repeat business. And in this video coming up, I'm going to teach you how to convert your sales into bigger deals so you can get bigger contract values, and it's not the way you think. So go ahead and watch this video if you want to make more money from your contracts.